Before the great cities, before the towering empires, before the pages of history were even written, there was a beginning. A moment lost in the shadows of time. A moment when humanity, guided by curiosity, hardship, and necessity, took its first steps away from nature and toward society. This is the story of the first civilization. Scene fades into ancient landscapes of Mesopotamia, rivers flowing, early humans gathering. 1. The dawn of civilization. For over 95% of our history, humanity wandered. We lived in the wild, nomadic, restless, vulnerable, following herds, sleeping under open skies, crafting tools from stone. We were survivors, molded by hunger and hope. But survival alone was never our destiny. Something within the human soul stirred, a need for meaning, for legacy, for home. Somewhere in the unknowable depths of time, a transformation began, a quiet revolution that unfolded not with weapons, but with seeds. Humans learned to plant crops and tame wild animals. They built fires to stay warm, shelters to stay dry, and tools to work the earth. And for the first time, they stayed. Along the banks of the Tigris and Euphrates, two great rivers cradling a land that would be known as Mesopotamia, humanity planted the roots of civilization. This was the Fertile Crescent, a crescent-shaped region where rich soil and access to water allowed crops to flourish and people to settle. It was here that the blueprint for human society was born, the dawn of organized life, of hierarchy, of religion, and of culture. Villages became families. Families became communities. Communities became something greater. 2. The rise of Sumer. From the dusty plains and riverbanks of early Mesopotamia emerged a civilization that would forever shape the course of human history. Sumer. The Sumerians were more than just survivors. They were visionaries. With ingenuity, they built irrigation systems that turned arid land into a breadbasket. With strength, they raised massive walls to protect their people. With imagination, they turned clay into the world's first written language, cuneiform. They wrote to record the harvest, to codify laws, to tell their myths and prayers. They wrote to remember, to instruct, and to endure. Their stories still whisper from the dust. They engineered the wheel, transforming transport, labor, and warfare. They devised advanced mathematical systems to track time, chart the stars, and structure society. At the heart of each Sumerian city stood the ziggurat, a step pyramid stretching skyward like a ladder to the gods. These sacred temples embodied both faith and power. With civilization came kingship. Rule was no longer by brute force alone, but by divine right. Among the first was Gilgamesh, the mighty king of Uruk, a man of legend, a hero of myth, a ruler who sought eternal life. 3. Gods, war, and power. But no great achievement comes without struggle. With cities came rivalries. With abundance came greed. And with faith came war. Sumerian city-states often warred with one another for resources, dominance, and favor from their gods. Religion permeated every aspect of life. Each city claimed its own patron deity. Priests wielded as much power as kings. They believed their gods were ever present, controlling floods, harvests, disease, and fate. To please them, they offered sacrifices, built temples, and sang hymns. But even the mightiest temple could not protect Sumer forever. Internal strife and external enemies slowly tore at its foundations. From the north came the Akkadians, led by Sargon the Great, who would unite the Sumerian city-states under one rule and build the world's first empire. 4. The fall and the legacy. By 2000 BCE, Sumer's great cities began to fall. Floods, invasions, and famines swept through the land. But though their power waned, their legacy endured. Civilizations that followed, Akkadian, Babylonian, Assyrian, all inherited the wisdom of Sumer. They built on its foundations. One of those heirs, Hammurabi of Babylon, created the first formal legal code. Written in stone, his laws would influence legal systems for millennia. From the Sumerians came astronomy, mathematics, the concept of time divided into 60 seconds and 60 minutes. They tracked lunar cycles, plotted constellations, and predicted eclipses. Even our modern alphabet, literature, and systems of government owe a debt to these ancient pioneers. 5. The future of civilization. The story of Sumer is not just the story of a lost civilization. It is the story of us all. Every time we read a book, calculate a number, build a city, or govern a nation, we echo the legacy of Sumer. They taught us to dream, to build, to remember. Civilization is not just history. It is the story of humanity. A journey that began with seeds and dreams in the heart of ancient Mesopotamia and continues with us.